Hello, and welcome to the Cambrian Desert. We are here on Xar's Cursed Oasis, and we have our seasonal Demons of Chaos champion. Demons of Chaos. Eh, I'm, there was some pun there that I wanted to make, but I failed. Um, Yeah, we have for the demons Zinj exalted Lord of Change with a Fury summon. Not super surprised by the current meta, and Pinkfire with a greater conduit boosted. Lots of pink horrors, a Nurgle Grinder, and 2 Bloodletters. This is a bit of a weird build. It completely abandons all frontline, or what you would classically understand as frontline, since, well, Bloodletters are kinda front grinder, but, or, no, they're not really grinder. They are more squishy glass cannon fighter, melee fighters, and need to be protected usually. But apparently here the plan is to have them be the protectors for the pink horrors, which is a kind of interesting flip of roles. For the Dark Elf side, we have a huge flying goon squad with a Shadow Sorceress, Enfeebling Foe, and Malchus Miasma is, well, if you need to win a fight and if you need to be sure to be able to engage with a fight, those 2 spells are good to set up your cavalry or your flyers for something. Or protect a unit that is getting dived from taking too much damage for a few seconds while Enfeebling Foe is active, and wait for the cavalry to come, metaphorically or actually. Then 2 Flying Masters without any skills. They can hunt down things. You're not actually, you're pretty guaranteed to have a big flying lord as Demons of Chaos, so they might be for those, or they try to go against the Fury Swarms, which I'm curious about how they will do. Shielded Dark Shards, 2 Shades. Interesting. Especially with the Furies around, I would have taken them with dual weapons to get some extra infantry damage. It's just 50 more gold, but I'm not actually sure how much the performance changes due to this. It might be a bit placebo effect, since Furies come down with so much charge energy that any combat stats might not really matter as the unit just evaporates. Okay, then I'm gonna leave it to normal. I didn't comment on the Bleak Swords, but they're just, yeah, gap filler. And the Dread Spears, the Regiment of Renown was poison and more sets. I don't like them for this, as the other sides don't really have too much problem with holding, and going expansive on units that don't get any defense increases is, if the other side wants to cast Pink Fire at 1 unit, by bringing a single expansive one, you just tell them which one they should cast on, and not that it stops them in any matter. The Soul Grinder going for the Dark Shards, but they are protected by a forest bit here, and I'm not sure if it helped. I might need to stand a bit closer, actually in the forest, since the Soul Grinder arc is a bit... Such single line forests are very hit or miss if they block anything. if they block a big so grander projectile, that's huge, but if they don't, yeah, they don't. That's an overcasted Pickfire, and those Furies here got charged. They didn't get their charge off. For a 6th model unit that flies, they have quite a decent charge bonus, so... And now with Miasma they can't escape, though they get some... better flyer support. Where's a lot of change actually? Here, okay. Yeah, this is how I know this guy. He slaps Pinkfire into something and then lands for terror, and if the Dark Elf player here isn't careful and waits until the cooldown is up for the next one, those two are gone. Should be, I think, what... Oh, he instead casted it here onto the shades, which is also super understandable going over there. Those two get bullied by the Soul Grinder instead. Yep.
One of your units has been destroyed.
They here actually did really good in even more flying stuff. They killed the regiment of the Screamers and the Fury, and now taking the next Screamer down. That's good. I mean, okay, that's, to be fair, this is 1k, 2k, 3-ish k, I'm not sure. I don't think with 2 spells is cheaper than 1k, and that's 850 on top, so that's 4k value hyper concentrated into almost a single point. It's hard to contest with that, but its effect is also limited onto the single point. And the moment they start spreading out, they start getting problems. So you kind of bounce them around like a pinball eraser. If you play it like this is the Death Star concept. And I think the opportunity cost of getting this was that the Dark Elves didn't have any cavalry. Only now they get some cavalry to shut down the pings, and consequently they kinda could just take out any infantry. All the bleak swords are kinda gone except this one. Exalted Bloodletters, oh yeah, they will scrap them. They will scrap them as if they weren't even the Regiment of Renown. Mid gets taken over. Yeah, the Bloodletters are likely the tag against... Is that a Zinch army ability? Look up? Yep, it is. The Corsairs dodge, which is good, and they still got half health, which is, yeah. The Death Star Pinball chases the Soul Grinder, but gives up and just throws a token piece in there to have it occupied. But now that this is split up, no, okay, they rather try to chase the Death Star. The Sour Guts here, in case you don't know, they have an insane explosion damage on death and good stats, so they just bet those Bleak Swords in melee, no problem. Now they go for the isolated one, rather than trying to gimp themselves by going into the beast that's designed to kill them. It works good at killing things, I really have to admit that. Their values aren't so super hot, but that's usually the case if you go against demons, as they start crumbling away. The Hellbrunner actually did more than I expected to the Exalted Bloodletters, way more. This is interesting. I might have severely underestimated them. And okay, so the field is rather skewed to one side, or Dark Elves have this mid thing, but except their flying death blobs, that's not really strong fighters here, or strong point fighters. Whereas the demons have a lot of things that are good at occupying points. Nurglings aren't strong fighters, you have to say, but they hold points and they hold for quite a while and are fairly resistant to shooting, as they have a low model count with fairly high HP, and so a lot of shots miss. So the Bloodletters with Miasma, Feebling Foe. The lady is almost down. So good. Her value is not. In Miasma, those guys have some spell resistance, and I think in this situation it might have been overkill. But I can understand that the Dark Elves want points now, and this they shouldn't have done. If you don't make a serious attempt for a point, you should keep all your units back. So the best is to be behind this forest line here to get at least a bit of cover and wait until this here is done and then group up and fight it again. And also maybe have some cav unit or something fast to just threaten over here to force that the soul grinder has to stay there. Though I have to say that this mid force is big enough that you can keep the soul grinder just on guard duty here. In this case, maybe a mounted crossbow would have been good, but you have to be super careful with Furies. And this is a bit... Oh, they're diving for the lady. Yeah, okay, I just wanted to say that this is pointless throwing away of value, but they tried to Lord Snipe, and then this is completely understandable. Taking out the opponent's side's Lord and Caster is good, and actually routed, but she will rally in 5 meters in. Though there was some additional friends routing debuff for a few seconds, so she doesn't go above... Oh no. You actually need to be above 0. She managed. I don't know if they actually programmed it to have some... It feels like they faked some additional leadership checks when the unit comes to the border. There's so often lords and units rallying right at the edge, and that's a bit sus to have it happen naturally. Though, now without the magic support, I don't know how impactful it was. It's hard to gauge with this debuff spells. Still, even without the Lord, the Exalted Lord needs to be very careful. And in this situation here, I would pull back the Nurglings for two things. First thing, you want the Bloodletters to fight and not the Nurglings. Nurglings are a stalling unit, so are spears, and you want the Bloodletters to just clean them up before something comes around that shoots them like this. Shades with dual weapons. I commented on them earlier. Let's see how they do in a few seconds. And the second, if the unit here has an attack order onto the Nurglings and you pull them back, they do some weird following movement, and this is often not good for them as they intermix with the other more killing power based unit. Is this like the fourth life of the Shrieking Sky Races? Sky Race, not races. Cold One Dread Knights, and they're fighting Sour Guts, and that's like the worst thing they could do. I think the Furies won against the dual weapons, which is a bit sad. Okay, so the Dark Elf player admits defeat here, and that is a bit of a common problem, I would say. You commit so hard into solving a problem, in this case solving the problem of Furies, that you completely forget to bring what the Furies are actually the solution to. And that is mounted crossbows. Okay, there were quite a bit of shooting things here, but not so many that the lot of change couldn't deal with it on its own. So yeah, especially mounted crossbows need Furies to keep them down, or pink horrors to zone them, but yeah, pinks don't have that much range, and on this map it's a bit problematic to bring Overwatch, to bring them into positions with good Overwatch fire onto zones where you would expect those crossbows to be. Yeah. So, this Death Star worked to clean the air to some degree, though the ground forces weren't strong enough so to make it really matter. So the demon player could just throw things into the death ball to keep it occupied and actually grind the sorceress down. I think you could have been a bit more careful with this jet simply, to keep her back and take less damage if you don't need her to fight. Like, her fighting power isn't so much worth it on your Lord's HP bar. Yeah. Not a problem-solving Dark Elf build. Not a problem-solving. On the demon side, the Soul Grinder. Yeah, I think he had to shoot a bit too much on long range. And that you always see in the value in the end, and had then to run away from the Death Star. But he wasn't the core carry units. I would say that were more the pinks, and actually the Bloodletters, since there was nothing really threatening the Bloodletters, except for those isolated on the point. The rest could go into infantry and with the archers shut down, and no cavalry to cycle charge them, which is also a problem for their no armor. Yeah, they did good. Something here forgetting. Isolate. Those poor guys had a terrible job, but and Nurgling value isn't interesting, to be honest. So, I think the 3-play worked correctly. If one of the players remembered going differently, then it actually broke, because there was a hotfix a few days, or yesterday at the time of recording. So I didn't spot any anomalies, so I think it played out as it should, but the players might be able to confirm it or deny it. And with this, I'm ending this recording and probably gonna do another one later today. I got some quite down the pipeline, and I hope most of them still work despite the hotfix. See you then.